All right, today is Tuesday, September 29th, 2020. This is the end of the day review. So we've been trading in our live trading room today. To be very frank, it's been a little choppy today. It's been, a non-trending day. Michael, one of our hosts in the live trading room, just shared with folks that there's a high percentage of time that basically the market doesn't trend, and it is just range bound. So we had some fairly tight ranges today, but we were able to harvest some really nice profits because we're using a method where we are locking in 5 points. If it doesn't run to 10, it gives us our 5 points and basically converts a trade from a no-risk trade to a guaranteed winning trade. Some of those trades then do, in fact, move on to 10. Some of them actually reverse on us, and we get stopped out either for our planned 20-point loss, that's our protective stop, or for a smaller loss based on the trade reversing. So here are here's the summary of trades since 7 o'clock this morning. We usually start tracking at 7 a.m. and we record the time of the entry, whether it's a long or short trade. We record the method of the trade, what strategy is being used. The adaptive entry system, as you know, has 4 different methods. And then in addition to that, we also are tracking fractal entries, which are not inherently part of the adaptive entry system, but offer an additional opportunity for possible profits on trades. So there's the summary of all of the trades that we took today. If we take a look now at the summation of that, so we like to focus on 2 different categories. We focus on tracking all of the signals from 9:30 to noon. We do that because we have a fair number of people in our community who enjoy trading for a limited amount of time during the day. We also focus on starting at 7 a.m. Eastern and trading throughout the day. Most of our traders don't actually trade the entire day, and I want to talk a little bit about that today. But we do focus on that to show you what the opportunity is if you were trading from 7 a.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern, but only focused on the trend trades and the trend continuation trades. And then we take both of those results on a daily basis and we plug it into our personal trading plan. And I'm going to come back and talk about some other numbers here, but we do have a category that we track also from 7 to 4, all signals, as opposed to just the trend bias and continuation. And we do pay attention to that because it's become our optimum performing category. It's the best performing category when we look at a balanced stack ranking of both profit production on an average day, win-loss ratio, total number of losing days through the period of time that we've been tracking, etc. And then this category is just an adjustable category we're going to take a look at a little bit that includes all signals plus fractals. So let's first of all get our data entered into our personal trading plan. The 9:30 to noon finished with 20 points of profit today and 10 trades. Oops. And the 7 to 4 trend bias and trend continuation only finished today with 57 and 3/4 points, 16 trades. All right, so we're going to jump over to our personal trading plan, and we're going to start with the 9:30 to noon category. Everything in blue is are all the days and weeks that have already elapsed that we've plugged in our results in the personal trading plan. We are taking 3 contract trades now, so we ended up with 20 points of profit. Each point is valued at $20. So 20 points of profit times 20 points is $400. And $400 times 3 contracts per trade was $1,200 today. We took 10 trades. Each one of them was 3 contracts, so we had 30 contracts that we traded today. And now we come up here and we see that our total number of weeks that have elapsed is 12.4. We've had 21 losing days in the 12.4 weeks, so it's a little ahead of our original plan of having one losing day a week. So we should only be at about 12 to 13 losing days. We're at 21, so we're ahead of plan. So this calculation here is telling us what our average profit is on our winning days, and it takes into account the fact that we've had fewer winning days than what we had originally planned. So that calculation is already factored in. This is the average of our losing days, and it also takes into account the fact that we have a frequency rate of losing days greater than what we had originally planned. So we now take those numbers, those are our actual run rates, and we put them in these two fields where we now want to forecast out for the rest of the 40 weeks that we have, 39 and a half weeks in a 52-week plan. So 23.15 is the average winning day, including taking into account the fact that we have more losing days than we had originally planned, and minus 34.31 is the average of our losing days, once again taking into account that we have a higher frequency of losing days. Now that may change over time. We might get a few weeks out and we might be right back in line with our planned losing days. I don't know yet, but we are every day when we plug in our results, our actual performance here, we're going to use our data, which is based on averages and taking into account frequency of wins versus losses. We're going to plug that into our future forecast so that we have a reasonable projection of what our income could be over a 12-month period. So we start with $5,000. We limit our exposure on contracts to no more than 10% of the balance of the account. And then secondarily, we arbitrarily limit the number of contracts we want to trade, and this is up to each trader's discretion. We have our trading plan built with a limit of 3 contracts max. So the trading plan will never show more than 3 contracts in terms of a forecast unless we change that. And if we continue at the same run rate that we have established with the same rate of frequency of losing versus winning days, then our income potential over the course of 12 months is right around $175,000. And that's having started with $5,000. Now, if we want to increase that, if we're confident in our run rate, if we're confident in our trading, we're confident in our understanding of taking the signals, adjusting the stop, locking in profits, holding for 10 points, we're comfortable with whatever method you are using, then you could increase the number of contracts because you would be comfortable with your run rate. And so let's just say we wanted to increase our maximum contracts from 3 to 5. All of a sudden we potentially add another $100,000 over the course of our 12-month trading. And our trading plan would tell us when it's appropriate for us to add 5 contracts. Now that would happen to be tomorrow if we did adjust that to 5 contracts, because there's sufficient funds in the account that would cover 5 contracts worth of margin. Let's just say hypothetically you're someone who decides you want to trade 10 contracts. Well, you're going to see the number of contracts increase gradually up to 10, and it will never exceed 10 because we're going to limit it to a maximum of 10. And again, this should only be done in your actual trading if you are comfortable with the run rates that you are using as a forecast and you're comfortable with how you achieved the results that are actually driving the current run rate. But going from 3 contract max to 10 contract max, you still have a limiter of no more than 10% of the balance of the account to allocate to margin, and that gives you almost a $500,000 income, potentially. Lots can happen in the next 40 weeks, 39 and a half weeks. Your run rate averages could increase, making it easier to achieve your goal. Your run rate averages could decrease negatively, at which time you might want to increase the number of contracts if you're shooting for a specific profit goal over the course of 12 months. All right, so let's just quickly go ahead and jump over to our category where we record 7 to 4 trend bias and trend consensus. We did 57 and 3/4 points, and that's $20 a point, so 57.75 times $20 a point, and then times 3 contracts is 34.65. Okay, so we made 34.65. We did 16 trades today times 3 contracts per trade, so that's 48 contracts. Okay, same story here. Our weeks behind us are 12.4. We've had 14 losing days in 12.4 weeks, so we are slightly ahead of our frequency rate, and that's factored into the average winning day, and it's factored into the average losing day. So the frequency rate is factored into those days. So I had somebody recently just suggest that maybe we were misleading people because we have more losing days than we had originally planned, but yet we're still using the averages. I just want to be very clear. These averages, when this average of 33.97 per winning day calculates, it's taking into account that we have a slight variation, slight negative variation to the frequency of winning days. So that takes into account the frequency as well as the actual average, which kind of makes this trading plan really cool, and kudos to Erin for all the work she did to automate and create a really awesome tool that could help anybody who is serious about building their trading business. All right, so we're going to change our forecast to 33.97 because that is the current most accurate run rate we have for our winning days. And we're going to change our losing days to minus 27.32. And now we see that if we leave our 3 contract max alone, that our starting account value of $5,000 potentially grows to $332,000, and I think that that's a really solid number. You know, if you're ultra conservative and you want to maybe only trade a maximum of 2 contracts, that still is a potentially really strong income number. If you're a little bit more interested in a bigger income, knowing that it all is rooted in your actual run rate, and if you're confident with that run rate, you certainly can increase your contracts to a bigger number, whatever you choose, and it will influence what your potential income is over the course of 12 months. Okay, so we're going to save that, and I'm going to jump over to our tracking tool. All right, so our all signals today starting at 4. Remember, we just coded all signals 9:30 to noon, and we coded 7 to 4 trend bias and trend continuation only. All signals 7 to 4 had a very strong day today, 127 and 3/4 points. A few folks in our community were well aware early this morning that if you'd started at 7, it was really very, very strong today. And, you know, this is worth noting too. 127 points today of profit. Yesterday, 8 points of loss, 90 points of profit, you know, 5.5 points of loss. You're going to have variations. You're going to have variations here in what your daily performance is, which is why we focus so strongly on the overall averages and not on individual day performance. Like even this day, although that's really nice, I'm not thinking that we're going to have 127 points of positive performance on a daily basis. I want to look at the blended average. So I'm going to look at our averages here, and I'm going to look at what I was just discussing, the all signals 7 to 4, $1,369 is our average profit per day for the last 76 trading days. We've had 7 losing days in that time frame, and we averaged just over 73.7% as a win-loss ratio. That definitely is our optimum performing category with the highest daily average, the lowest number of losing days, as well as a very solid win-loss ratio that's right in line with most of our other win-loss ratios. What I wanted to share with you, though, is if we factored in fractals, which are not included in these numbers, and we take a look at what that would mean, let me first of all start with 7 to 4. Okay, so 7 to 4. Now let's go back to our summary. 7 to 4, including fractals, actually added another 60 points. We had some really nice fractal moves today. That's 7 to 4. Without the fractals, it's 127. Now, if we take a look at 9:30 to noon, this tool makes it very easy to be able to take a look at any time period. Oops, that's not correct. There we go. 9:30 to noon showed us that on top of the 9:30 to noon 20 points today, taking all signals, we actually would have added another 35 points of profit based on fractals. Now, when I say we would have added, I mean to our reporting. We're not including fractals in our personal trading plan reporting right now because we're just getting comfortable with our data on fractals, and it's becoming more and more consistent more recently. So the fact of the matter is, though, we call out the fractals in the room. We help our trading community identify the fractals. We have many people who actually trade the fractals and can have some pretty awesome results. Now, I want to focus on the 7 to 4 category here just for a minute. I want to just emphasize something, that if we traded from 7 to, let's say, 10, oops, did that incorrectly, and let's say we cut off at 10 o'clock. So that's all signals including fractals, okay, because the fractals are there and available. 7 to 10 a.m. this morning was up 87 points. And Aaron made a point of noting that for folks in our room. So, that's a half hour into the regular market session, and you're up 87 points. You have to ask yourself the question, if you are using the trading plan diligently, if your goal, well, let's just say your goal is to make $300,000. And you need 34 points of profit in a day. And let's say you did trade beyond that 34 points and you're at 87 points. Do you want to trade the rest of the day? Do you want to continue to trade and put yourself at risk? There's no one right answer to that for anybody. It's not a consistent answer. I'll have some people who will tell me early in the day in our live trading room, I'm done for the day because I've met my goal. Or I'm done for the day, my goal was 25 points, I'm at 40 points for the day, so I'm going to call it a day. The purpose of trading is not to be in front of your computer and trade 24 hours a day. At least I don't see that as a lifestyle. I see a lifestyle as being aware of what your trading goal is that will get you to a profit and income goal that you might have for 12 months for yourself, and do as little as possible to achieve that goal. I mean, if you can show up and you can take 25 points or 30 points and that's your goal, and you're done in a half hour, then go enjoy the rest of your day. Some people may continue to choose to trade, and there's nothing wrong with that because they might want to use that day as an opportunity to exceed their goal. And other people may actually stay with trading but shift off of a live trading environment to a simulated trading environment strictly for the purpose of continuing to learn and grow their understanding and build their muscle memory in terms of what do I do when this condition comes up, what do I do when I need to adjust a stop, how do I know when to most effectively adjust a stop. If you're doing all those types of things in sim mode, it's going to become a lot easier for you in live mode to implement those rules and those understandings because you learned in sim mode. So I just wanted to share with you that the results can be outstanding early in the day. We see that frequently. We are committed to being in the trading room throughout the entire trading day, and usually we start calling it a day somewhere around 3:30, after which I do this summary review for you. But there's all sorts of different ways that you can slice and dice your trading to fit into your personal trading curriculum. So let me just take a look at a couple of other time frames. If you're only interested in trading, say 9:30 to 11, you got enough time to do that during the day, and that's what you're committed to. Well, today you'd be at 40 points, and you can see that the average daily production for the last 70 plus days that we've been tracking, the average daily production, if you just traded from 9:30 to 11, taking all signals, including fractals, is almost 17 points. Well, 17 points is $340. And so $340, if you plug that into your trading plan as a plan to earn 17 points in a day, then you plan, one losing day a week, whatever that may be. But if you averaged 17 points, remember this is taking into account losing days too. If you average 17 points over the course of a day, and there's 20 trading days in a average month, that's a $6,800 a month income. And so times 12, you're talking about over $80,000 a year potential just trading from 9:30 to 11. Now, there's no guarantee of that, but that is based on our data for the past 76 trading days, and taking every signal, 9:30 to 11, including the fractals. You can average a pretty nice income based on what we've seen. All right, let's just do one other slice and dice here. What if you were not available in the morning and you came in at 1 o'clock? You started at 1 and you decided to trade until 3:30. By the way, I don't know the answer to this, so we're going to learn this together. Okay, so 1 to 3:30, so 2.5 hours in the afternoon, taking all signals, including fractals, is an average over this last 76 trading days of 22.5 points a day. Today was 65 points this afternoon. We've had days, you would have had days where you lost 80 points. There were 2 back-to-back days where you lost 80 points each day. And if you are keeping your head on straight and you're looking back over time and you see where your positive and negative performance is, well, you're going to see that there's an average that develops in your own personal trading. And that's what this average is based on what we've been able to record in the detailed day-to-day trading. 22.5 points a day in the afternoon, 22.56 times $20 a point, 20 trading days, it's $9,000 a month. That's a potential $108,000 a year income. So I just wanted to show you that it's not just about trading from 7 to 4, or it's not just about trading from 9:30 to noon. It is about picking a time frame that works for you and then making the system work with you. I personally, if I was going to trade for a limited amount of time, would be focused on the all signals plus fractals. All signals plus fractals. That's what I would be looking at. If you don't trade the fractals, don't include the fractals, your numbers are going to generally be less. But this just shows, this tool just shows what the possibilities are no matter when you decide to trade. Now you might find a time frame that doesn't work very well and you would want to say, I'm probably going to stay away from that. What if you decided you want to trade from 10 to 1? there's all sorts of different variations of participants in our community. People who have jobs, they have overnight jobs, and this might be their evening after work. Some people who have second shift jobs, this might be before they go to work. Some people who have businesses and they're actually multitasking and they have a period during the day where they feel they could really pay attention. Well, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., all signals plus fractals, is averaging just under 30 points a day. 30 points a day, I'm rounding up here, is $600. That's $12,000 a month, or potentially $144,000 over the course of a year. And remember, this average that you see right here takes into account all winning days and all losing days. That is the blended average. No matter what the frequency of losses is, it just takes into account the entire blended average. So I'm just kind of averaging out all of the averages and sharing that with you. So I thought it was worth sharing with you today because we've had some days recently where we've had losses. We've had some days recently where we've had some fairly big wins. And I really, if I could share one thing as a takeaway from this, is don't get too preoccupied with today or the past few days. Get very focused on what your big picture is. What do you desire your income to be over a 52-week period, and build a trading plan using our personal trading plan tool to help guide you to that. We're here every day in the live trading room. We're available to help you. We're available to answer questions. We're available to help you understand when to adjust stops. It's kind of a real-time teaching environment. And no matter what times of day you decide personally to trade, you can find success. And I would tell you to focus on the all signals and the fractals, and we can help you with that along the way as we trade right here in the live trading room every day. So thanks for being here with us every day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow morning.